Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. You guys know Jenna's not here this week. This probably for the next couple weeks. Currently, she's with her sister and nephew and nieces, and they're out and about doing the thing around Vegas, just having a little bit of fun. And of course, she was like, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "No, I've got a live to do because this is what I do, and I don't like missing the lives." So I am here holding down the fort. She'll be going with her sister to California for a couple weeks to help her other sister hold down the fort there, and so all is good. And she'll be back here probably in 2 weeks from today, I think, if that's the date she's returning. Nonetheless, you guys have me to deal with, and I have no one here to banter with, so I'm hopeful to keep it as entertaining as I can for you. Nonetheless, I do have some things that I do want to talk about, and and I'm going to go over and talk to you guys about the fun time that I had getting away, and I think it's important to get away whenever you can. But it opened my eyes being gone from the business while Jenna was here taking care of the business. And I was really able to do stuff with my app in the morning at breakfast when we went to town and there was reception there. But for the most part, I had no reception. So Jenna had to kind of handle everything. And it was certainly an eye-opener for me when I got back. And I'll be going over that here with you in a second. But it got me to thinking that there's something called geolocation. And it's a real thing with eBay, guys. Look, I know you guys know me for just kind of coming up with theories, and maybe I don't have a way to back up all the things that I'm trying to say. And sometimes it just seems like there is something going on with certain things with eBay. But I am like 90% certain, without any proof, because I did some searching. Without any real proof, I really see from my own results, whenever I leave, there is an issue with me taking the device that has, which is my phone, taking it away from Las Vegas, geolocating me to wherever I'm going, and now they're saying, and this is my theory, that eBay looks at it as, okay, this seller isn't at their normal location, and in order to try to preserve the buyer experience, we're going to, and I don't want to, for lack of a better word, I'll just say the word throttle. We'll throttle that user or that seller so that we can minimize the opportunity for a bad buyer experience, or maybe something shipped out late, or a customer's maybe message isn't answered in a timely manner. I don't know why my video is doing that, but it definitely feels that way. Not just from what my experience is, and like I said, I'll go over that here in a second. It feels that way because it's happened way too many times. You guys who watch this channel have seen, and I've shown you guys, when I leave, there's times where I will have maybe $1,000 day, and once the system knows that I'm gone, I had a $0 day. I mean, how do you go from $1,000 day to a $0 day? That's happened to me in the past. I will show you right now what we're talking about. I'll try to blow it up so you can see a little bit better. I left on Tuesday evening, and Wednesday rolled around, solid day, 485. But after that, now mind you, I have listings that were scheduled each and every day. I had worked my butt off to make sure that I had enough in my draft bank to schedule listings. But $225 on Thursday, $89 on Friday, and that's like, I haven't had an $89 day on a Friday in a long time, followed by an $81 day on Saturday. Now, I came home on Saturday night because I could have stayed at the cottage another night, but things kind of wind down. People are leaving after the tournament. So it's like, for me, I'm fine with getting on the road at night. And guess what? I get home Saturday night, boom, $5.99. And then today we're already at $3.64. And look, this is the thing, the way I look at it. And I'm going to show you guys some things that I did a little digging on this. eBay doesn't buy your items. Okay, we can establish that. eBay doesn't buy items. eBay doesn't promise us sellers anything when we sell on their platform. We are not promised a darn thing. What eBay does is generate what people kind of poo-poo about, and it's impressions. eBay gives us impressions. Now, the more a demand of an item you have, of course, that's those impressions are going to happen on their own because people are looking for that particular item. The more in demand slash the more the scarcity of that item also does help, because if you're only up against one other seller versus a high demand item up against, let's say, 100 other sellers, you're going to find a different outcome, and you're going to need to adjust your strategy appropriately, whether you use promoted listings or not. And, through the use of promoted listings, you might go at 2%, but then you might find that, wow, 10%, I get a lot more impressions. That's eBay taking that situation. Okay, you're going to be at 2%, so we're going to kind of throttle it down to what we feel like 2% is worth in impressions versus, oh, I'm going to take the same item and list it at 10%. And wow, we're going to give you a little bit more traffic and give your item a little bit more exposure through either the eBay search or through non-search related, like when they have their listing that's shown to the buyer within your listing, that kind of thing. And eBay regulates that based on how much you promote, and also it is self-regulated by how much in demand that item is and slash how scarce it is. Because if you're the only other person with that item, there is no page 2 for you. You should be on page 1, just not in the top slot. So these are all things that eBay does. They generate traffic to you, and anytime that, now we could debate it. I know Basket Noodle said, well, anytime it comes up in the query, maybe you're down on the last slot of page 1 versus within clicking range. Now, it's always been explained to me, and I'd have to go in, that's the subject for another day. What is an impression? Maybe I'll do a video on that. But it is explained, when I did a lot of research on this, I remember it telling us that an impression is anytime your listing is within clicking on the screen for the buyer, whether it's at the bottom or if it's even, let's say they're looking at a listing and your listing pops up in other items that are similar to this kind of thing. That's also an impression. That's a non-search impression. And a lot of people are like, impressions don't mean anything. I get a lot of impressions on my store. I get a lot of impressions on this item. But it's all that eBay can do. eBay can only manage the impressions. They cannot manage the person clicking into your listing. If your listing isn't enticing enough, once that impression is generated for that listing, if it is not, if it's not a listing that is getting that buyer's attention, or the price doesn't look good, or the photos don't look good, eBay has no control over that. So, they've done their job by giving you impressions. And I do believe that when you do things, eBay does take away the impressions, such as if your account goes into, has some health issues, you have a lot of defects, maybe you're showing that you're excessively late with your shipments, or you're getting a lot of returns. I do believe it's all baked into the cake, and I don't want to go into the whole algorithm thing, but it's all baked into the algorithm as to how do you get as many impressions as you can on your items. And there's things that you can do to improve them, and there's things that you can do that'll bring them down. And one thing that I'm seeing that when I do that brings them down is when I go to California, or I go someplace outside of the Las Vegas area. It takes about 24 hours. So if you're going overnight and coming back, it's probably not going to be a thing. But if you're going for at least 48 hours, I start to see a decline in my impressions and my sales. Now, if they can decline your impressions all you want, if you get the right buyers that are looking at your items, you could still have good sales, because it's all kind of the luck of the draw. Who's looking for your item? Is it someone that's just being a looky-loo? Do we have someone that's selling the item, that's selling a similar item, that's looking it up in search, and that's an impression that'll never generate a sale? So there's a lot of good impressions. There's a lot of empty impressions. And what I want to tell you is that I do think that if you leave for an extended period of time, geolocation is a thing. Now, I did go and look it up. There is a thing called developerebay.com. I'm not going to bother trying to go through this whole document, but this is more specific. This particular geolocation reference that they have is for if you have or try to set multiple locations for your inventory. And then there's another one here that talks about the inventory. So instead of trying to figure this out myself, I employed Grok. And I said, decipher this article and what it means for me as an eBay seller. And as an eBay seller, the article you've referenced is a technical guide from eBay's developer program detailing the method within the inventory API. And what it does, what it basically was trying to tell me is that what they have published their usage for geolocation is for like if you have a warehouse or store where your inventory is stored, every offer you create on eBay must be linked to at least one inventory location, blah, blah, blah. It gives me the stuff on that. And now I don't care about that so much, but I asked it, I want to know if geolocation is a thing with eBay within the eBay app. Does this confirm that eBay tracks your location through your phone? It says, yes, geolocation is indeed a feature associated with the eBay app. It does indicate that eBay can track your location through your phone, though it's not as simple as constant monitoring. Let's break it down based on what's known about the app and standard mobile app practices. eBay's app is available for iOS and Android. It doesn't explicitly advertise geolocation tracking as a core feature. However, it's reasonable to infer that the app uses geolocation based on common e-commerce app functionality and eBay's broader ecosystem, such as permission requests, location-based features, shipping estimates, local pickup options. So like if you offer a local pickup, it needs to know that you're going to be there or if you're in that area, and search relevance. Also API evidence. So if you have links, if you have apps set up within eBay, I don't know how that links with the app, so that doesn't make sense to me. Does this confirm tracking? No, not conclusively in the sense of constant background surveillance like a fitness tracker might do. There's no hard evidence from eBay saying the app actively monitors your every move. However, it does confirm that eBay can and likely does access your location when you use the app, provided you've allowed it through your phone's settings. So if you have permissions, most of us have permissions on that. So as a seller, what it means is that buyers could theoretically see how far your item is from them, influencing their purchase decisions, and eBay might use aggregated location data to analyze market trends, which could indirectly affect seller tools or fees down the line. Now, their takeaway, this is the last part of it, is the app doesn't track you in a shadowy Big Brother way unless you opt in, and then even then it's likely limited to enhancing your shopping experience. That said, mobile apps thrive on data. If you're privacy conscious, check your phone's location, blah, blah, blah. But the signs point to standard permission-based geolocation, not covert stalking. And then I ask, is it possible eBay uses this geolocation tracking to improve the buyer experience? To clarify, I mean, if a seller is away, eBay might not provide the same number of impressions, throttling your account until you return to your area. And it says, yes, it is entirely possible and even plausible that eBay would use geolocation tracking from the app to improve the buyer experience, including adjusting how your listings perform based on your location as a seller. And then it says your specific theory about eBay throttling impressions if you're away from your selling location is speculative, but aligns with how sophisticated e-commerce platforms optimize their marketplaces. And so it goes into saying, it could affect shipping speed, seller availability, like I said before, local pickup. My theory of throttling impressions while you're away. Tracking seller location. If you've installed eBay app and allowed location access, eBay could detect when your phone is far from the merchant location key you've set up, your home or warehouse zip code. This assumes you're the one handling shipping and not using a third party. Impact on buyers. If eBay suspects you can't ship promptly, It might lower your listings visibility to avoid disappointing buyers with delays. Fewer impressions could mean your items drop in search rankings or don't appear as often in best match results. Return to normal. Once you're back near your inventory location, eBay could restore your impressions, assuming that you're again able to fulfill orders quickly. And it says there's no public evidence like the official eBay documentation forum, blah, blah, blah. Why it's plausible, buyer-centric logic. eBay prioritizes buyers over sellers in its ecosystem. We all know this. They detect you're away and can't ship within your promised 1 to 2 day handling time. Reducing your impressions protects buyers from a bad experience. Dynamic adjustments. Modern platforms like Amazon and Google use real-time data to tweak visibility. Amazon penalizes sellers for slow fulfillment. eBay could similarly use geolocation as one of many signals in its algorithm. And then, of course, it gives an alternative. eBay offers a time away feature, blah, blah, blah. So counterpoints, no direct proof. I can't prove what I'm saying to you right now. Permission dependency, throttling based on your location assumes you've enabled location services, which I have. Complexity, monitoring every seller's real-time location might be overkill when simpler metrics like late shipping rates already flag unavailability. So it goes on to the final take. I mean, we can look at that other stuff. But final take, while your theory isn't explicitly confirmed, it's a smart hunch ground on how data-driven marketplaces operate. eBay could use geolocation to throttle impressions when you're away, aiming to ensure buyers get it fast service, but it's likely just one piece of a bigger puzzle alongside tracking data and feedback scores. To test it, you can monitor your impressions next time you leave town, which is kind of what we did here. So that is a long answer to a fairly short question. I'm convinced, guys, that there's geolocation is baked into the app. And if you're gone for more than 24 to 48 hours, count on not getting the same kind of action. Even if someone's at home manning the base, taking care of the customer by messages and requests and shipping and all that stuff's being done, it sees that your geolocation is somewhere else and it's kind of getting, it's focused on the buyer experience. So shoot me down in the comments if you want, because this happens way too often. I'm saying at least the last 3 years. And every time that I go to California or somewhere else for a period of time, I don't care how in tune I am with my app. I wasn't very in tune this time, but Jenna was here manning things. It's like I have no cell phone reception, so it's like this guy is not even on Earth. We can't have anybody buying from this guy right now. It's likely that it may not go out on time. Me and my same day shipping. So that's that. And I want to know what you guys think down below. And we got a couple other things I'll talk about here, but I kind of want to string it out a little bit. Trying to find ways to keep the content fresh. We have a number of people who watch this live who tune in for the first 15-20 minutes, my diatribe. And when I get to the hellos and highs in the comments, they tend to drop off. But I don't want to say string people along, but I want to keep people engaged in the content as long as possible. So I am going to do my very, very best to mix in content as the show goes. So please stay tuned. And of course, we have Keith, who claims to be first, and I guess he usually is, so I'll take his word for it. John, hope you had a great trip and came back refreshed. I got to tell you, these trips that I take, and I'll go over that in a little bit, but just to answer your question here, these trips that I take, I don't sleep well. It's not a resting trip. I'm actually helping run this golf club. It's a golf tournament. I'm actually one of 8 people who run this thing. And between all the things that we have to do to get it right, there's not a lot of R&R, to be honest with you. And the golf is, 4 days in a row of golf in 90-degree weather can kind of get on you. So, it was fun. More than relaxation, it was fun. We have Mike Mecco says, "Hi, John and FAA family. Just back from Omaha and had a decent sales Only away for the weekend, so no need for time away. Just pushed handling time to 3 days. Came home to 18 sales. Not bad, passive sales. And I think with that, Mike, when you say that you set your handling time to 3 days, I think that it kind of, and this is all theoretical on my end, so shoot me down all you want. By the way, I just got my sale. You hit the like button, get your sale. It was a AC compressor. So that's all said and done, all good. So we have now over $400 today in sales. So all's well. Hit the like button, get your sale in the next 24 hours. I'm not sure how it works or why, but too many people say that they get their sales after they hit the like button. I really do think a lot of it has to do with your 3-day handling time. So had I maybe pushed my handling time back, I really think that could have helped. Theoretical on my part, but I didn't need to because Jenna was going to be here. We've got Swamp Picker give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And Derek W. Pat is with us. Nice to see you, Derek. I was reading your comments from the members only live. I did 2 videos, by the way, while I was gone, and I figured while I think the production quality was halfway decent for not having a microphone or a gimbal, it's people tune in for eBay reselling content. Now, while I did talk about eBay stuff that was on my mind, the idea that I'm at a resort, I'm standing next to the Colorado River, I have, a donkey walking around next to our poker game, these things aren't very interesting to a lot of people, and therefore I thought I'd make a members only, made 2 members only videos. So if you're interested in seeing how the trip went, beside me later on talking about it, and actually see for yourself, then of course be a member. It's like $3, $2.99 a month, and you can go and check out these videos. They're very short videos, like 10 to 15 minutes a piece, but will really give you an idea as to kind of why is it such a big deal that I do this. And hopefully those of you who did see it have a better understanding of that. ACDC for life, yes, is offering Keith a cookie for being first. Yes. Gail says, and we have Gail Carlson in the house. Nice to see you, Gail. Says, hey, John and Jenna, I'm finally getting my share of returns that I have been avoiding if they would just learn how to read. Yes, I just received this thing. This doesn't sound too good. I thought I'd save it. I know it's a return. I don't know what it is. It's a door lock, I believe now, after I see the box. It doesn't sound very good. It wasn't shipped this way, I can tell you that. And this is the one to this handle set, right? Now, you've got one on each side, and in the return request, they said that they think that these are counterfeit, like they're not the same. Now, that doesn't make a bit of sense to me. There's nothing, this thing is apart, by the way. I don't know why it's apart. I didn't send it to them that way. So they tried to install this, obviously. And there's nothing, and I'll have you determine what you think. Let me just put this on here real fast. This is a pain in the butt, by the way. So, okay. So this is on, I think, the best that I'm going to get it. So you have these 2 pieces, right? I don't know. I'll show it to you in the camera. I don't know, but they have their thumbprints on it and stuff, fingerprints all over it. But these appear to be the same thing. Okay, they're pretty much this is the same thing. So the idea that they're saying, well, these are dummy. This is a dummy handle set. It's not a functional handle set. Okay, screws. I don't know if they returned this because they thought, well, it doesn't work for their particular situation. It wasn't what they thought it was. But they went in and they opened a return request. And they said, let me see if it shows me I have my return here. Nope, not yet. Let me go to it real quick. I don't know what the problem was, the real problem was, but what they claimed is that they thought it was counterfeit. It's just crazy. So let me go to the details here. Return details. So let me go to that. It says, missing parts or pieces. Hi there. The directions are to a different set of knobs. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. A lot of times they do include, like, it shows a knob here, and it shows a handle there. It's for the same company, M-Tech. That's what came with this. Okay, the instructions are a different set, but this is not a functional handle set. This is just like a dummy set. Seems to be a set that is pieced together. Please help. No. And I replied, hello, these are the same set. We deal with many different types of knobs and door handles, and quite possibly you received a set of instructions from one of the other sets that we have here. I can confirm these are the same. But it's like, how do you open a return request under and say, please help? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. So, of course, it's an item not as described situation, even though it is as described. And, yeah, they are going to get their money back, but it's just sort of mind-boggling that, A, they did nothing to keep these from banging against each other. And, they should have reached out via message if they really needed help. Don't go through a return request and say, please help. I could have helped you and actually provided a manual for you. And, of course, you reach out to them by message. They never reply. So what can you do? Let's see. Duncan's with us from Australia. Says, howdy, John and Jenny. Good to see you back again. Yes, thank you. And Kevin says, good evening from Lakeland, Florida. Kevin Hawthorne, nice to see you, buddy. Chastity. Also, Chastity says, eBay must have thought I was on a vacation this weekend. I had one sale, a $7 sale. Thank goodness for Etsy. Did about $100 in sales. Anybody hear about eBay? And I haven't really done a lot of digging on this, but eBay may be trying to buy Etsy. Let me see if it says anything here. Is eBay buying Etsy? Let's see. There's been some speculation and discussion about the potential eBay acquisition of Etsy. No official announcement or confirmation has been made indicating that eBay is currently buying Etsy. So that might be speculative. And somebody here at the eBay community did say that something about eBay buying Etsy. So I don't know if that's happened or happening. Anybody hear about that? Let's see. Joe Samard says, hello, FAA family, after a long dry spell with no chat. Well, again, I apologize for not being here on Friday. It's the one time every year that I can count on not being here. I know Jenna the last 2 years has held down the fort, but even if she wanted to, which she really doesn't like going live by herself, even if she wanted to, it was going to be very difficult because her sister is here with her kids, and it would have been kind of chaotic. So not a recipe for a good live stream, that's for sure. And then Keith is saying that eBay seems to be slow. I mean, yesterday, I'm looking at, you guys saw, let me go back to here real quick. You guys saw the sale that I got, and if we go back to the screen, it's now adjusting to $458 today. $599 yesterday, $458. Looks like I'm back on track. Just got to get my listing back on track, and I'll be all square. I got a mess behind me I got to deal with too. Flip It Good says, happy Monday. Welcome back. Well, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. It's just really cool that you guys, are consistent being here. And it's just hard to believe. We have 130 people watching too. It's just really cool. Duncan says, FEA membership, too expensive for me. I need my KFC. Well, that's good because it's FAE, not FEA. Henri Squaw says, howdy, John, Jenna, and FAE chat. Nice to see you. We got Bear with us. Thanks for being here, Bear. And Glenda says, hi, John and Jenna and all the FA family. Hope everyone is well. Sutter's Mill says, somebody flipped the switch back on at eBay yesterday and today. So that's what it is. It's maybe it's not just me, but it just happens too much, too often. whenever I go, and I guess we'll be finding out, we're going to be going at some point back to Tyler's his graduation when he goes through the boot camp process. So we plan on at some point going out there, and we'll just see what happens with that. Biff says it's 100% real. Every now and then I go to the coast for oysters, where I spend the day with zero cell service. The next day the sales always tank. It's absolutely predictable. So it's not just me. I don't like bringing you guys conspiracy theories without having some kind of firsthand experience with it. And a lot of people say, get your tinfoil hat out. But I really do believe there is a thing with leaving a location for more than 24 hours, especially like what Biff said, without any cell service. I think that eBay is like, oh, what are we to do? This guy just dropped off the face of the earth. Well, let's protect ourselves and let's slow down their sales so that it doesn't reflect badly on us. I really do believe that eBay is doing everything they can to protect the buyer experience at our cost, and I think that this is one of those things. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really fully believe that. Bear says, cha-ching on eBay, but they hold the funds for 60 days. eBay sucks, but I got a nice buyer. He will buy next time from my website. But you're building a buyer base, and you got to realize that a lot of these sites like Mercari, Poshmark will not release your funds right away. It's once the buyer gets the item. Now, the fact that you're international in Japan, that might have something further to do with it. Biff says, I can come back to good sales on the day I'm off grid, but the next day is always dead. Yeah, that's what it's looking like here. Derek says, maybe turn off the eBay app or delete might help, maybe. But then when I am in town, when I do have availability, like for instance, I literally sent at breakfast. So we're all there with the guys for about an hour at this place in town. And I'm literally sitting there with my app. Everyone's having conversation, and don't know what's going on with this video here, but everyone's having conversation, and I'm kind of in the conversation, but here I am on eBay on my cell phone, and I have I think I had 3 people reach out to me that there's a problem. So instead of telling them, the easy way is just go open a return request. For me, I went in, pirate ship, screenshot, saved the screenshot, trimmed it so it looks like in the perfect form of the label, and uploaded that screenshot to the message saying, if you do need a return, use this label. I'll refund it as soon as it gets there. Now, for those of you who aren't members, I did have a discussion on the video that I put out on, I think it was on Saturday morning, that went into more detail as to why I'm doing it that way. I do believe that the eBay return process, the way it is set up, is very punitive to sellers. Now, provided that you are handling, so like this particular one, I believe this was through the return process. I don't know what's going on with this camera, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to go spend $500 for a really good one, because this one's driving me crazy. But nonetheless, this one was opened without, I had no opportunity to do anything, but they marked it as like item not as described, or actually it was missing parts or pieces. It's not missing anything. It's a dummy lock. It's going to have 2 handles and the hardware. So that hurts me as a seller. That hurts my return ratio. The number of returns can't exceed or get into the very high category. Otherwise, if you have enough of the returns within a category, you're going to be paying 6% until you fix that problem. Well, to me, the only way and my returns do get very high because I sell liquidation. And I have trigger happy buyers that don't want to reach out and say, hey, is this legit? Is this the right set? Or did you send me something else? So instead of playing eBay's game, I am going to make my own game. And you guys do what you want, but this is kind of how I'm doing it. Coupled with sending messages to the buyer, and I haven't got my cards. I want to make my cards, but sending a message to the buyer when they first buy the item, have just a stock thing. I'm not typing it out. It's already saved. I have a notepad that's locked into my taskbar down here on the computer, so I don't have to search for the file. The file is almost always open on my desk, has a bunch of templates for here's your offer for best offers. I can just copy paste that, or just an email that thanks the buyer for buying my item. If there's any problems, reach out to me directly, and I'll work with you to make it right. So that does help, because you do have people reaching out to me and not opening return requests. But getting that card made, maybe like a 4x3 card or 3x2 card that just basically thanks them for their business. Use this 10% off code for the next purchase. They won't use it. And contact me if you have an issue. And that, when they get it, they'll see it, they'll put the card aside, they'll try to make it work. Something's wrong. Okay, they said to contact them. Let me do that first. So maybe that is what's going to help me. Now, once they do, I then offer them, help. If I can give them help to make the thing work, or maybe explain to them what it is that they're dealing with. And last resort, if we can't get it to where it's satisfactory for the buyer, now here's your return label. Use this return label in the same packaging, send it to me, and once we get it back, we're going to refund your money. And guess what? They do that. You go through and select other adjustment when you're refunding. Don't select buyer return, select other adjustment, because that's another way they can track you. So I'm doing other adjustment. Buyer doesn't care what you select. They're getting their money back. At the end of the day, they pay $100, you give them back $100, buyer's happy. Somewhat disappointed it didn't work out, but they got their money back and they're moving on. So that's for you to decide how you want to do it. If you have the expertise to go into Pirate Ship, buy the label with your address as the from, put the buyer's address as the to, generate the label that works for the size of package. You'd have to go into the item that you sold to find out the measurements and the weight that you use for that item, and then send it off to the buyer. Yes, it does take about 5 minutes. But to me, if you want to get out of eBay's crosshairs with bad metrics, then that is the way I would recommend it. So hopefully you guys, consider it. I mean, if you don't deal with a lot of returns, just keep using the eBay system. That's for sure. Let's see. We did that. Paul Rose says, "Hi, Mr. Miller. Hope you had a good trip," and Jenna as well. Nice to see you, Paul. Good trip. For sure. Very uneventful drive up and back. I'll kind of go into it a little bit later. For those who are interested in how the trip went, I will kind of go over it here with you guys, and we can talk about it. Bobby's Kicks 2023. Hey everyone, nice to see you, Bobby. Big Dre's with us. Says hello everyone. Just getting an oil change, sitting in the waiting room. That's awesome. Well, you tuned in to someone that'll keep you busy for a couple hours while that happens. Biff says eBay doesn't buy your items, but they can certainly bury your items, off-grid, defect, etc. Any slip up is just cause. And I have always been in the mindset that if you, I think Christopher Nutter just got a sale. Don't ask me how I know. Well, I'm a member of the Discord, and it popped up on my phone. That's how I know. But returns, negative feedback, item not received, maybe not so much for U.S. folks, but definitely those who are overseas selling into eBay.com. I really do believe that these are things that can hurt you temporarily within all the algorithm and the metrics that eBay looks at to determine where you're placed for a buyer to see your items in their search. Semperfi says that his sales for last year is up 33.7%. So now that you mentioned that, I guess I'll show you, because I did run that. Try to be prepared for this show a little bit. So what I do every live is I like to show you where my sales are year over year. So from the beginning of this year, January 1 to today, 3/31, we're at 31,000. Let me do this real quick. Let me do a refresh, because I did get a sale today. Okay, we're at 31,886.69, and that is up 13.6% from last year. So we've kind of fallen a little bit. I think this last week kind of hurt that a little bit, but we're if I can stay the course and be 10% up over last year by the time the year is over with, I'll be happy, but we'll see. We're still down in the number of items sold. So 428 items is down 8.2%. But look, I'm up a whopping 23.7% in ASP. So what that's saying is I have sold fewer items at a higher price point, made more money, which means I'm doing less work, theoretically. Of course, I don't get a lot of repeat buyers. I only have 3 repeat buyers out of the 400 and some odd buyers. So that's a very, very small percentage. Then that goes with the territory with being a everything seller versus a niche seller. Hill Valley Vintage says, did you see your Angels made baseball history? First time a position player came into pitch on opening day. LOL. Yeah, that was pretty pathetic. Pathetic in that, we were playing the worst team in baseball, and we were getting beat like 9-0 when that happened. And that was absolutely horrible that happened. I've tried to follow it. That's the tough thing too. When you want to follow certain things, not only your eBay account, you're seeing everyone else with cell phone reception, T-Mobile. I'm getting rid of you. Next year I'll have a different carrier, so I won't have to go through this nonsense anymore. Mike G says, good evening. I sell half of my normal volume when I'm out of town for the week. I'm definitely a believer. If I was skeptical or kind of on the fence or thinking, maybe, I'm certain now. Bear says, the worst month ever turned to be the best one in the last day of the month. $900 a day in a day. That's awesome. So that tells you whatever it is that you have, you need to get more of it. Big Dre says, I'm sticking to dynamic, no cap, but it can be expensive at times. Wow, that can be expensive. And, I think you can only pull that off if you buy low enough. If you're into an item for 2 cents on the dollar, which means you're buying something for $2 at the yard sale that has sold comps for 100, you have room to work with, depending on what you really in your mind need to get for that to make it worth your while. And if you get a lot of those kind of items where you can turn 5 into 100, I do that all the time. It's the type of merchandise that I look for. Well, that allows me to do a 10% markdown sale all the time, every day. It allows me to do a 10% running coupon for the entire year. And on top of that, it allows me to take offers or make offers to interested buyers. And, in some cases, I'm coming down 30 to 40% on my initial asking price. But it's because I could play one of two games. I can sit and wait, let that $5 turn into 80 to 100, or I can take an offer. I'm into it for 5 and someone's willing to give me 50. I figure I can take that 50, buy more of those items that I got for 5, and do it all the while that original $5 sitting on my shelf waiting, because it's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And if you bought it for 5, well, that's really all it's worth until it sells to somebody else. So I'm basically putting that $5 on the shelf and allowing somebody to come in and buy it for a higher price. And if I'm priced too high for the market, that thing's going to sit there for a while. And it's the thought of churning through inventory where you make your money. And I'm a big believer of that theory, that I'm not emotionally tied to these items that I'm selling. These are all widgets, and it doesn't matter if it's a cell phone or a patch. It is something that has value to somebody, and certainly not to me. If it had that kind of value, I shouldn't be selling it. Let's see. Biff says, impressions don't mean much overall, but try to get a sale without one. For certain, you have to drive your own traffic. So someone like Josh Galt, right? He has his Shopify. And he's put a lot of time into a Shopify store for his stereo views. And without driving traffic to that Shopify through Google search and stuff like that, and that costs money, by the way, it isn't free. He's going to get a sale once in a while, but not nearly as many as he would want. Big Dre says, I do notice that my items will sell within a week versus the sellers that I got my comps from that had their items up for months. I can only think that my higher promotions got me the sale. I think all the things that you do, all the tools that eBay gives us to help promote our items, I think that they are, of course, self-serving for eBay. They want you to get the sale. If you get the sale, they get to charge you final value fees and promoted listing fees. And then the promoted listing fees, offsite ads, the offsite advance, or the not offsite advance, but the promoted listings advanced, those are all ways to get extra money. And of course, they're trading the extra money out of your sale for extra exposure, which helps you to get more impressions and therefore another or more sales. We got Todd's with us. Thanks for being here, Todd. Biff says it's odd that eBay can bury your item when you're away, but they can't consider your track record of coming back and shipping on time for years and years. And that's the sad thing about the whole setup. You know, we talk about, oh, I've been selling for 20 years, but that doesn't mean anything to eBay. It maybe means something to another seller that you have a lot of experience and you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing. But to eBay, they treat you like someone who just started selling 6 months ago. That means nothing to them. Every time that you call them on the phone, it's a scripted thing. They tell you, oh, I see you've been here for 7 years. Thank you for your loyalty. Well, what the hell does that mean to you, eBay, if you're not going to act on that loyalty? You're going to acknowledge that loyalty, right, from the first sentence that you say on the phone. But the moment that I have a situation where I can show you that as a seller, I did everything I was supposed to do, but this buyer, you know, they're totally in the wrong, they're trying to scam me or whatever, you're going to just take their word for it. I mean, make it make sense and make your words mean something, eBay. You know, it's not me just complaining about it. It just kind of, don't say it at all to me. If you don't value my loyalty, don't talk about my loyalty. That's the way I look at it. Coppercat says, hello, everyone. Nice to see you, Coppercat. Paul Rose says, yeah, when I changed my address, I had to change it in 5 places on each account. You do. And if you leave one of those with your old address, they're going to think that you're like, okay, wait, something's not right here. He's operating out of 2 locations. Big Dre says, of course, being top rated plus offering free shipping, free returns, ship time of 24 hours, fast response time to questions all make a difference. I'm a huge believer of that. A lot of folks have told me, John, you're crazy for thinking that eBay cares how fast you get back to the buyer's message when their competitor, Mercari, now I'm not saying Mercari is pushing them for a huge part of their market share, but it is another competitor that does take away some of their market share. They give you a badge as a seller for fast response. So if you don't have fast response, you don't get the badge. The buyer doesn't see that you respond fast. It is important. The buyer experience is important to all these sites. And you'd be kidding yourself to think that eBay doesn't value those things as well. Craft with Barbara Drake says, hello. Nice to see you, Barbara Drake. Thanks for being here. We have Chai Charon says, Spike, did you ever own a Geo automobile back in the day? Geo Metro, Tracker, or Storm? Yes, I did. I owned a aqua-colored Geo Metro. This is way back in time. And I had true bucket seating. Now, for me, the bucket seating was, I sat in my seat one day and the bracket busted out in the driver's seat and I couldn't sit in the seat because I was falling back into the back seat of the thing. So I went and got a plastic bucket to put behind the seat, along with I wired the bracket together to keep the seat in place, and it worked. And I drove that thing with that stupid bucket behind my seat. Yes, and I know for a fact that it's a 3-cylinder vehicle, and I know for a fact that I was only running it on 2, I believe. I think one of them was shot. And we tried, me and my high school best friend one time made a trip to Las Vegas from California. And anyone knows not the Cone Pass, but there's it's 11-mile, very steep grade, the Halloran grade, that's what it is. And needless to say, we were in the slow lane and we were doing one of these, like, I think I can. We're trying to push it forward with our bodies as I have the gas all the way to the floor, and we have big rigs who are supposed to be in the slow lane going up these grades, flashing their lights at me and honking at me because I ain't even going at their speed. Yeah, so that's a story. Those are the times. Devon says, please smash the like button for the eBay sale. Yes, please do. I appreciate that. Paul Rose says, but that's just overreach on eBay's part. How do they know you don't have someone at home dealing with orders for you? They don't, but they see like the app that we've been given permission for geolocation. Maybe I should have shut off my geolocation. Maybe the next time I go somewhere, I will go into the settings and shut it off. See if that helps. But they really don't. I really think that it's baked into whatever account that's signed in. Even my other account was horrible. And I sign into that account all the time with my app. So it's not just the main account either. Biff says, Paul, by sheer volume, they can afford to assume the worst. They can, because I'm just a drop in the bucket. I'm not even a drop within the drop of the bucket. David Kelber says, try it offsite promoted for a week. Ends today. $5 a day. 7 sales so far. Wanted to get people to look at my second store. 20 views so far. Not really worth it. Dollar for dollar, but it did bring in extra views. Now, thank you, David, for mentioning that, because I had totally forgotten that today is the last day for my campaign. And it seems like it's the last day for eBay because they're not allowing me to click on anything. It's like sitting there. Okay. Here we go. Oh boy. So I did increase the budget to $20. You guys remember me talking about that. And so in theory, I was trying to take advantage the last 2 weeks of the month. Today's the last day of the promotion where they're covering up to $200 spent for the campaign. They're covering half of what I would spend, up to $200. And here we go. My John's Doing It Anyway test campaign, promoted off-site, $20, generated me 54 clicks, 5,000 impressions, $190 in sales, and $33 in ads. So basically, I traded $33 in ad fees for a total of $190.98. It's a no good. I don't think I can see the raw ass, but it doesn't matter. I had a $133 sale back on the 21st, and I had one sale today. It says I had a sale, but it doesn't say what it is. It says what the amount was. So looks like it's somewhere around $60. I could probably figure it out. So I generated 2 sales. Ad fees are $33.53. So I'm wondering, that is what I would pay, and then eBay eats half of that. So I spent $17 roughly for $190 in sales. So if you're doing it with a promotion, I basically traded 10% more in fees to get more sales. I would think that would be worth it, but not if I was paying this all out of pocket. Now, the alarming thing is that they didn't utilize the entire $20 a day. I had $10 a day for the first week, and then upped it to $20 a day after that. And I had 11 clicks yesterday. I had 2 days ago on Saturday, when I had no sales, only 2 clicks, 4 clicks on Friday. These are the Friday and Saturday that were bad days. But going back to Wednesday, I had 7. That was my last good day before Sunday. So I don't know. Maybe it's all tied in. They don't want to waste the promotional spend. If you're not there, it's baked in. I don't know. But I wouldn't do this again. Not really a good thing, at least for what I'm selling. Maybe you guys have had different experience with it. Bear says eBay app sucks. Doesn't work properly at all. Never got the cha-ching sound, so has messages from the buyer. Glitches on the app all the time. Sorry guys, talking a lot. Gotta have something to drink. Well, with that said, I would try to make sure you're updating your app every so often, because sometimes when you don't update your app, you're going to experience a lot of problems. They do get in there and fix things, believe it or not. And if you're not on the most up-to-date app, then you're going to find that you're still dealing with a lot of the problems that have been fixed. Sutter's Mill says, if you're noticing slower sales when traveling, it might be coincidental or related to seasonal trends rather than geolocation. Hey, if for instance, if I come, I wouldn't even have mentioned this if yesterday and today my sales didn't normalize. Wouldn't have been a mention. I would have been more like, okay, I need to get on my horse here and start listing, because that's my only answer to it. You know, we can complain about it, I guess, but at the end of the day, it is up to us to get the right items up for sale. And I've got a garage full of stuff that I know will sell. Just got to get it listed. And so my next move would have been, let's get listing, you know, and you know, I did schedule listings while I was away, but that doesn't replace, eBay knows that those aren't listings that you're doing that day. They know they're scheduled listings. It doesn't replace the activity that you would organically be throwing into your account by being at home and all that. So if I didn't have good sales Sunday and Monday, we wouldn't be talking about it right now. It wouldn't even have, you know, it's, you do think about it, and maybe I damaged my account temporarily because I was gone. That may have gone through my mind, but it's just too coincidental that you know, the time that I was away, it didn't let me have the type of sales that you guys have seen. I've been having very consistent sales for the last month, and now I'm back to consistent. What's the common denominator? I'm back at home. Paul says, all their policies are guilty until proven innocent. Should be the other way around. LOL. We got Rockin' Yard Sale says, damn, kind of sure I said this in a chat a few months ago, and all I said, and you all said I was nuts, and no way eBay would do this. Funny. Well, one thing that you have to understand is I've said this many times. So I don't know if you're talking about just the chat or if you're talking to me, but if you've watched enough of my lives to know that when I went to California, I don't even think it was this last summer. I think it was the summer before last, where I went to California and just for 2 days. The next day, I had $1,000 day in sales. Okay. The Saturday, because I went Friday, I believe I went Friday. Saturday, I had 0. And then I returned Sunday and things normalized after that. And at the time I had mentioned, this is what it feels like. I think something's really weird. How do you go from $1,000 sales day to nothing with the same good stuff in your store? And I do believe that eBay is running it as a social media site. They do want you to have the activity in your store as if you were checking your Instagram every day or your Facebook every day. Let's see. Drummer says, interesting. Every time I go away, my sales tank. So I next time I go, I'm going to make the effort to turn off my location and see what happens. I don't know. I'll do that. Devon says, I was in Montana last weekend and no sales. Came back. My sales came back. See, it's not just me. It snowed and rained this morning. Well, that's awesome. Biff says, just to consider, the reason why I stopped watching CWP altogether is because I had to watch him pull orders in between making his points, but I've always watched your lives to the end anyhow. Yeah, it's I get it. I understand. I'm very familiar with Kevin's content, and it certainly is intentional that the way he has it set up, because see, when you're doing videos, just regular videos, and I'm sure lives fall into that as well. If you can string along the viewer to watch as many minutes as possible, then you get paid for those minutes. So, you know, the viewing time is what YouTube looks at. So it's not just enough for someone to click on your video, watch the first 5 minutes and click away. Yeah, it does help a little bit, but it's better and it does push out, YouTube does push out your video if you get more people watching through. And if you're in the middle of a thought and you haven't finished the point and you don't finish it till the end of the video, that does keep people on the hook per se. I'm not saying it's good or bad. That's just the reality of how a lot of the successful channels do it. You need gifts, goods, and books. Says, hey, John, I hope you're all well, and cheers to the FAA fam and my soon-to-be fellow Americans. I forgot you're in Canada. Finish taxes and listing again. Taxes truly are a pain in the rear. Hope everyone is doing well. Well, at least you've done something that I haven't done, and that's finished my taxes. That is a task that I am going to really, Jenna's not going to be here, so, just going to spend all my waking time getting that done, and it's going to be just what it is. It's the pains of this time of year. Keith says, when we here in UK set time away, it just adjust our handling time to suit. I don't use time away, though. Bear says, John, your like button works like eBay app. LOL. I'm telling you, hit the like button, guys. I know that we have 131 watching right now. And if I refresh myself I don't use so I can see, we have only 81 people who have hit the like button. So hit the like button, guys. 50 of you guys may be missing out on a sale. So hit that like button and go into your, there's an option if you go into the TV app to hit the like button, but I couldn't direct you there. Drummer says, people don't read. I always ask them before I ship items out. And they don't always read their messages either. That's another problem. They may get an email in addition to the messages in the eBay system, but they don't read. I can tell you this. I took a defect on my account today. It was something I was going to bring up today. Took a defect on the account. So I had a bunch of these Roombas that were released last year. These Roombas were super clean. I mean, you open the box, all the accessories were there, except for the brush. The brushes weren't in the bottom of the vacuum. So you had the bins, you had the side brush, you had everything that some of these actually had a mop pad too. Clean, super clean. The area where the brushes, no dirt or nothing. It's perfectly clean as compared to Roombas I've received. This is like brand new clean. So my thought was, okay, find the ones, and like maybe 1 out of every 4 that I had the actual internal brush. So I did the basic testing like I do with a lot of these. Power it on, put it on the port, just make sure everything comes on and everything. And even you push the clean button and it starts rolling around my area that I have, my test area. So it works. What I did not do on this batch, and I had about 30 some odd Roombas, but only 10 of them were complete. Well, I sold those as complete units, and I sold them as open box. And I started getting people complaining that, hey, this isn't working. When I hook it up to the app, it says it's running on the app, but it's not moving. So apparently the units weren't, maybe these were part of a recall. I don't know if they Roomba did a recall or not. Maybe they pulled their stock, but why would they pull parts of the, some of them had no brush. Some of them had no brush plate. Some of them had no bin. So I was sitting there making these systems to where they're complete. And what I'm thinking is I've had I'd say half of them, like 3 of them open to return. Like the other 2 I provided a label for, and I haven't heard from the other 5. And I think it could be that they're just, either there's no problem with the ones they got, or they're not using the app. They're just hitting the clean button and it goes around and does its thing. So I had 1 more left. And when I got home, because I did some of these returns when I was gone through the app, when the little time that I had access to the app. And when I got home, I meant to take that listing down. And as I had to call eBay about something. I think I got a Vero, by the way, too. A Vero from Roomba, because I did use their stock photo, and that's fine. That's my bad. I own it. I've changed it. I'll tell you what I did to resolve it. But while I was on the phone with the rep, then, boom, I sold that last item. And I'm like, crap, I meant to take it down. So I sent the buyer a message saying, hey, these, the one I have here might work just fine, but I'd rather just part this thing out. I didn't tell them that, but I'd rather just not sell it to you. I don't want any more returns on my account. And they never got back to me. So instead of taking the chance to send this thing to them, I just went in and took the hit. I think I've had 1 out of stock over the last year. So as long as you're not more than, I believe it's 0.5, 0.3% of all your sales, then you're okay. It sucks. I hate doing it, but at the end of the day, my transaction defect rate was 1 out of 1,700, so by 0.5% or less, and I was at 0.06. So I have a lot of room to work with on that. So I just said, you know what, let's be safe than sorry, give them their money back, and part this thing out. Now, going back to the Vero thing while I was away, they hit me for selling a new Roomba with the phone in front of it. So it shows you the Roomba vacuum and then the phone sitting next to it, and it had the Roomba logo as part of their stock thing. But it shows the buyer that it does use your phone to control the robot. And I thought, that's a good selling point. So what they do is eBay pulls down the listing so it's not visible for anybody. And you can go in and they want you to replace the photo, get rid of the stock photos, which I did, but I emulated the photo, meaning that I took the actual Roomba, I put it up against my backdrop, took a photo of it, but I took a photo of it with my sister-in-law's phone because I was using my phone, and I put it right on the other side next to the Roomba, the way the stock photo was. And then I went into Canva and I went into the phone and put, this is an original photo, blah, blah, blah. And I put our logo for the second store on there. And it simply was this. I had a multi-quantity listing for parts for that particular model Roomba vacuum. And I wanted the buyer to see that this was that particular model. And that's why I used that stock photo. So I emulated that photo, and that is what I'm going to be doing. But the problem is they don't clear it. They keep it in like this limbo land, the listing. So you can't really, you can say you've changed the photo, but you don't see. I went into eBay without logging in to see if I could find the listing. Couldn't find the listing. So it's definitely suppressed. So I went in and just deleted or ended the listing altogether, and I'll go in and take those parts, take photos of the parts again, and I'll utilize my own version of the stock photo and see if that works, because they can't claim that. I mean, I always said, if you are not sure of how to take photos of the item that you're selling, go in and see how a lot of these brands are doing it and emulate that. Now, of course, I'm not going to use a stock photo again on that. Certain brands don't want you to do that. That's fine. But my thought has always been, when you're dealing with an open box or new item and you have competitors, which are your drop shippers, that are doing it every day, and eBay allows it, and they're getting the upper hand on being able to utilize stock photos. If I buy a tent, for instance, I ain't setting the damn thing up to put outside so I can show photos of the buyer what they're buying. And if you have it in a box, showing the buyer the box isn't going to help sell that item, because they want to know if it's going to fit their family when they go camping. And if they have no visual, they're probably going to go to the next listing and, oh, guess what? It's a drop shipper who's selling the tent that I'm looking for that happens to be the same tent that they clicked away from. So for me, I'm going to utilize that each and every time, and I guess I'm going to get hit with Vero requests from time to time. Max Vision says, good afternoon from the white sands of Pensacola Beach. Nice to see you, and thank you for being here. It's now 7 o'clock in Florida, or on the East Coast. Chai says, creeping, I just hit the like button and within 2 minutes got a sale. Spike, you're freaking me out, man. And then Gerber says, the buyer is a knob. I mean, it's just like, look, if it doesn't work for what you're using, you bought it for your closet, I hope you didn't buy it for your front door thinking that it needed keys. Who knows? You Want You Need says, way too many knobs in the world. Yes. It's Spam Banshee, and I'm thinking Primo's probably sitting there, but maybe not. Devon says, has anyone just lost a package? I just did last week. Anarchy is freedom. God, I hope not. And then Christopher Nutter says, you go and deduct the percent, put reason, came damaged, and misuse return policy. I only do that when I really can't sell it. I don't see but fingerprints on there. I don't see like a lot of scratches on it. So I'm going to go in and inspect it a little bit more, but I'm probably just going to give them a full refund on it and just relist it. You Want You Need says, did the donkey sit down to play? Hopefully he didn't kick anyone's ass to the poker table. We have a lot of, and donkey is a poker term, for those of you who don't know, basically meaning a bad player. Someone who makes bad decisions when they're playing cards. Those are the kind of players you want to win money from. And inherently, we have a bunch of golfers that go out here and there's nothing to do. You're sitting outside barbecuing, and either you can go play cornhole or you can sit down with the guys. We have 2 poker tables and just buy in and play some cards. It's a very social game. People are drinking and they're getting drunk. They've already been drunk after golf. I don't drink, so I'm taking full advantage of that. And we get donkeys left and right at these poker games. And as it just so happens, this resort has a lot of these donkeys. They're the wild ones, and they just go around to the different campsites or the different cottages, and they're used to people. And this one was, if you watch the video, this thing was right there. We're on a patio with little post there, and it was scratching its neck on the post right next to, like within 2 feet of us. It was crazy. Biff says, I have an ongoing item not received claim on an item that was scanned as delivered. They said I was no help, even though I was quickly communicative and offered to help walk them through the return process. And that's horrible. And I think the help that they were looking for was probably getting a full refund without you doing all that or having them do that. Yep, wanted a refund out of pocket. Tomorrow is April Fool's Day. And I don't know if I'm going to make a video tomorrow, but who knows. Biff Buffalo says, I told them I pay 13.5% eBay fees for buyer and seller protection and that they need to go through the process. Basket Noodles with us. Nice to see you. And then Devon says, John, we love you and Jenna. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And we know that. We do know that. And we feel the same way about you guys. We love you guys. And so we make it a point that we really do try to make each and every one of these lives if we can. Big Dre says, I saved a $175 vacuum by replacing the belt. I was going to trash it, but it turns out that Auric vacuums are easy to fix. I relisted today, and Auric vacuums do have good value. It is a very, very good brand. That one, I think Sanitaire, that's another good brand. You have... Now, we all know about the Kirby's and the Eurekas and all those. But the Dysons are the ones you really want to look for, too. Those brands offer lifetime warranties, and in the case of Dyson, they don't even ask you for the receipt. You can just open up a warranty. As long as nobody's registered that device before, you can open up a warranty claim, and they'll replace it. Sutter's Mill says, combining the 2 companies could create a buyer base approximately 60% the size of Amazon's. And I just wonder, though, if Etsy and eBay, if eBay was to buy Etsy, which I still don't know if that's true or not, would they integrate Etsy into eBay, or what would they do? L. Webb says, if eBay and Etsy merge, we will get more Veros than ever. Boy, that's horrible. I hope not. Matt Vision says, my sales so slow yesterday and today. I'm in the middle of making 10 YouTube accounts so I can hit the like 10 times for 10 sales. That's awesome. Susan says, I'm a part-time seller but have been posting every day at least 5+ times. Been selling every day for the last 4 days. No big sales, but a sale is a sale. All is good for me. A sale is a sale, yes. You want, you need, says, anyone else having a glitch where you similar often or sell similar an existing listing or using your templates and the item description changes to bold font during the revision? I found a workaround. I haven't seen that glitch, no. Are you doing that on your phone or on the computer? Did have, and I haven't seen Jovial today, but she did send me a message talking about another topic. Let's see if I can find it here. I did pull it up, but I don't know what happened to it. Okay, so it's this right here, and she said to bring it up. I don't have a whole lot of experience with it, and by the way, I just got another sale. I have a digital control board for an Oklahoma Joe pellet grill that I just sold, so there you go. But here it is. I'll show you the information. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this. 2025 Mexico import requirements documentation changes. So as of January 1st, 2025, Mexico will implement new documentation requirements for all imported shipments as part of broader efforts to enhance tracking and data provision for low-value shipments. What's changing is all shipments to Mexico must include Mexican tax identifier information, outbound provider's tax identifier, complete recipient details, full name, phone number, email address, and specific item descriptions on each order. Now, you think that would be part of the form that you fill out, but I do believe, and I did get confirmation through Grok, that if you utilize eBay's international shipping program, that will shield you from having to deal with that, because eBay is now the shipper to Mexico, not you. And so I had asked it, how does this affect sellers using eBay's international shipping program? It's saying that Flexport article you referenced outlines new Mexican import requirements, which could impact eBay sellers in the USA using eBay International Shipping Program. The shipping continuity with EIS. Sellers using the EIS program ship their programs to a domestic U.S. shipping hub, after which eBay handles international shipping, customs clearance, and delivery to the buyer. The Flexport article indicates that outbound parcel shipments to Mexico are blocked unless compliant documentation is provided, but EIS transactions are classified as managed market DDP, delivered duty paid orders, which are explicitly exempt from this blockage. This means EIS sellers should experience no immediate shipping interruptions into Mexico, as eBay manages compliance with the new requirement on their behalf. Goes into reduced seller burden and potential cost implications and all that. But the bottom line is, if by now you're not using eBay International Shipping Program, you might have your reasons. I don't know why you wouldn't, because you're simply eliminating all this garbage that these companies implement. Your responsibility is to simply send the package to eBay. eBay is now the shipper for that item, and they are the ones that have to deal with any kind of, if there's any kind of extra documentation or steps. And again, it's one further reason to utilize international shipping. Spam says, regarding eBay Etsy, an analyst at Wall Street firm theorized that eBay Etsy could be a solution for growth woes, but the likelihood of such a transaction is relatively low. The idea got people buzzing. So we'll see, I guess. So, I mean, eBay has been known to go in and buy out different companies. So Susan says, seems like when my sale ends, I start making sales. Weird. Yeah, isn't that weird? A lot of people say that the 24 hours after a sales period, they get most of their sales. But when I've tried that strategy, it never worked. L Webb says, I kind of think it would be a monopoly then, because Etsy already owns Depop. Who's next? Mercari and Posh owned by them too? Yeah, it would probably be that at some point. Richard says, got my thumbs up sale. That's awesome. And Brett's with us. Is most sales in a weekend. This weekend for me, I went on a 10-day cruise and sales are consistent like usual. I did change shipping to 10-day, 9-day, etc., updating daily until I return with 80 plus orders. And I do like that strategy. I just thought that because Jenna was going to be here, that it could be just taken care of, and maybe the activity that she was showing each account from here would override any fears that the algorithm may have had that I'm not at home, but apparently that's not happening. You Want You Need says, just having to take my descriptions from a Word document, then copy paste, change the letter size and overall font. A few extra steps, but basically all my templates and Selling Similar are doing this. Yes. Let's see. Devon says, no, it's not missing pieces, so the seller gets screwed. I did. Yeah, I get screwed because, again, eBay, doesn't matter how long you've been on the platform. It doesn't matter what your loyalty is that they're tell you about every time you call them. It's never considered. The loyalty is never considered. Let's see. Dre says, yes, to a savage, a sale is always a good thing. Goes to show if you properly test your vacuums, you'll find problems. I will rotate my vacuums every month and use them in my home. Then the belt snapped the other day, and that would have happened to the buyer, resulting in a return. Yes, because we don't have 30-day returns, guys. We have 30-day warranties. So the guy or gal might have received your vacuum, perfect order. Maybe they abused it, or tried to vacuum up some rocks or whatever. And if there's something that goes wrong with that thing, within 30 days, they get to return it, and it's pretty much no questions asked. You gotta take it back. Basket Noodle says ASCII 2 is American Standard Code for Information and Exchange. See, I think I remember that at some point seeing that, but I'd never thought of the acronym. Peddling Profit says, got a 3-star review on Etsy. They pointed out the flaws they were unhappy with. Our description, we pointed the same flaws she was unhappy with. People don't read or look at photos, and we take the ding. Yes, we take the ding. Like on my second account, someone opened, actually they didn't open the return. They didn't even reach out to me. They left me in neutral, and we sold this back posture corrector device. Basically, it's like a figure 8 thing you put on your back, and has this little thing in the small of your back there, or not the small of your back, but right between the collarbones there. And if you hunch over or in the wrong position, it buzzes. And so they return, and it explains that, okay, through the photos and through the listing. And for whatever reason, I have a stupid looking face right now. But they sent the neutral feedback saying that the device doesn't work, it doesn't correct their back, and it just keeps buzzing. Well, get your back in the right position, and it won't stop buzzing. It'll stop buzzing. It's designed that way. It's a $10 device. What were they expecting? You can't pay $10 for something that's going to instantly correct your bad habits all your life. Susan says, I sold some plates, had a return that said not working, defective, accepted the return and sold a few days later for more. How is the plate not working? No issues with the plate when photographed. Hopefully you got it back in good shape. Let's try to get to some. Let's see here. Derek says, that's great advice on the return shipping. I mean, to me, unless you really feel like eBay has your back, then keep using their processes. If you don't get a whole lot of returns anyway, then keep using their processes. But the system is designed to weed you out if you have a situation. Let's say you have... So this is the problem with liquidation. You cannot, especially electronics, you cannot spend all that time that is necessary for an item like maybe you have a stereo receiver. Okay, if you have a good stereo receiver, you're not going to hook it up to every possible thing that you can hook it up to. It's just impossible. Like the $1,000 one that I have. So you're going to do basic tests. If one of those features don't work properly, which may be the reason why it was returned in the first place, well, then you're going to have to take the return. And if you get a bad batch and everything looks great, I mean, I wouldn't have had as much confidence in these Roombas if they weren't spotless. These things were clean. Nobody even bothered using them. And it was kind of weird to me. Well, I'm getting all these Roombas that had no usage. So the first thing is, does the thing even power on? Well, it powers on, it vacuums. Even though there's no brush, it does do the whole thing. And so I didn't even consider, well, we need to go through the extra step and make sure it connects with somebody's phone. And because I didn't do that, now I was getting returns. So the way for me to maybe counter that is to simply offer the return label and take it out of the return process. But that's because I'm into account maintenance, account protection, and it's up to each and every eBay seller to protect their own account, because you are just a number. eBay doesn't care about your status as a seller. If you don't meet their requirements for a particular category, whether it's your fault or not, it's going to be counted against you, and there's nothing you could do about it if you play the game they want you to play. Let's see. Unity says, it is weird with returns. It's almost as if benefits eBay more as they can charge higher fees to sellers. I got to say, why are we paying promotional and final value fees on shipping costs also? Because it was tried out many years ago where somebody would have, let's say $100 item. Okay. They'd sell it for 99 cents. and they would have $100 shipping, even though the label may have cost only $10. And that was allowed on eBay. And it was like a bait and switch. Oh, wow, I get this really cool thing that would normally cost me $100 at the store for 99 cents. And then they'd click in and then they'd see the shipping. The reason why they did it that way is because they're being charged fees on the 99 cents, but not on the shipping. See? And that's one way to circumvent the eBay fee structure. So you're paying virtually nothing to sell that $100 item. And eBay got wise to it, and they started charging the fees on the shipping as well. And then when the whole taxation thing, it used to be when you bought on eBay, there was no sales tax. Doesn't matter what state you sold into, there's just no sales tax. And through, I guess, states saying that they can make some money on that, they implemented sales tax. And then, knowing that it was going to cause individual sellers a nightmare of having to collect sales tax for 40 some odd states that charge it, and then send it in quarterly to each and every state. Can you imagine? You only sell maybe $10,000 a year and stuff, but you interact with at least one of those states throughout the entire year. You're going to be on the hook to have to go in and send in quarterly sales tax for each of those states. There's programs like TaxJar that you can use for that purpose, but it would have pushed a lot of sellers away. eBay smartly went in and said, we'll take care of it for you sellers, but because we have to do the work, we collect it on your behalf and send it out on your behalf, we're going to charge you as if it's part of your shipping and your item sold price. So we're going to take our fees out of that as well. I can't argue with that. I don't want to be sending out money to 40 some odd states every quarter. It's a pain in the butt. El Webb says, maybe we need to look into who owns Etsy then. They apparently have some cash to spare. Yeah. Who knows? I don't sell on Etsy, so to me, it wouldn't affect me so much. But I do think that if eBay was to acquire some of these platforms, it does boost their recognition. That's for sure. Keith says, so if someone had business posts set up with mail company where you pay monthly for whatever labels you use, you could, in theory, send a pre-printed business return label in each item. You could, but in my case, I am paying pirate ship out of pocket as soon as I generate the label. And then if I want a refund, let's say it's not used, I got to go in and say, refund the label, and then it's credited back to my account. I'm not going to do any of that. Yes, you get charged for labels that are actually scanned. Well, with eBay, that is the way it works. But with pirate ship, they charge you, and there's no way to run a label like that with your name as the from and the buyer's name as the to on eBay. Chai says $10,125 total sales, 450 items, sold $22.50 average sale per item. For me, doing it for fun. There you go. If this is for fun and you have this as maybe supplemental income, maybe you're retired, maybe you have full-time job, you're doing this part-time, then you know what? You just getting that extra money in, those kind of numbers is not bad at all. So just take the money and enjoy it. One day I'll be in that position when I get my Amtrak retirement or my railroad retirement, but that's quite a ways away. Sutter's Mill says USPS might possibly be privatized. Could FedEx be a play in the stock market? I don't know, but I don't give financial advice. I don't even have any stocks, so I am the last person you want stock advice from. Keith says, with my postal account, I'm charged once a month for labels scanned, and when I print a label, I'm asked if I want a return label included when I download a label. Interesting. Might be something to look into. Real Timeless Vintage Bear says, in all my packages, I put a thank you note and also give them my Shopify store address and offer 10% off and fast shipping free. I got 7 people already. Check my Shopify store. Perfect. Build it up. Love to hear those stories. You want says, John, I 100% agree with you on the loyalty statement. I did everything I could to do right and showed them where a buyer had breached 5 policies they still not defended me as a top-rated seller. They don't. You have to present an absolutely clear-cut case that the buyer like really went above and beyond to scam you or whatever. And Frogman's laughing. That's good. Nice to see you, Frogman, nonetheless. L Webb says, we must be in the same age group because I really wanted a Geo Tracker back in the day. Never did get one, though. Haha. I didn't want the Geo Metro. Trust me, it was within my budget at the time. And it was a car to get me back and forth to work. And it wasn't great. And Devon says, John, yeah, I needed to do something. It was one of those things where my buddy was like, should I get out and push? Yeah, it was one of those. We didn't think we were going to make it to the top. Let me put it that way. Mix Mercantile says, hey, checking in from California. Nice to see you. John Jones says, John not running on all cylinders, confirmed. It's been that way for a while, my friend. But I do the best I can. A Geo anything was a true hoopty. It was. Well, when they first came out, they were when they first came out in the late 80s, I think this is an 89 Geo Metro. But when they came out in the late 80s, they were kind of the new cool car. I remember my buddy's brother got one, and we were like, oh, this is pretty cool. We're driving around in it. Yes, use your eBay shipping supply coupons ends today. So if you're one of those that just don't think about it, you procrastinate, then use them today. I will be using mine that I get tomorrow. I use them right away because I don't want to forget. Callie Debs is with us. Nice to see you, Callie Debs. Susan says, I'm top rated on 20 of my listings and top rated plus on 400 of my listings. Never thought when I started at the end of April last year I would have that. Love it. Yeah, and you're growing. That's awesome. So keep growing. Now, you could have, just reviewing that statement, you could have only 20 of your listings out of thousands that have met the requirements. So you have to offer free returns, the free 30-day returns in order to get that. And not all of my listings have that. But in my opinion, you're only saving 10% on your final value fees, and that's really the only benefit. I think you're still treated as a top-rated seller. Of course, the algorithm does favor free returns over paying for returns. Baskindo says, this is due to the fact WordPress is a content management system and affords a horde of capabilities a place like Shopify cannot even touch. Yes. And You Want You Need says, do you still pay promotional fees on the shipping while doing the advanced promotions also? Is there any way this can save money? So on the advanced promotion, remember, you're paying per click. So if you have a buyer, let's say you have Nike, like Nike shoes, and you set up your promoted listings advanced campaign to say anytime they type in Nike shoes, then you are willing to pay up to $1 for that click. That is just the way that they kind of rank you in search a little bit differently, but you're still paying that for the click, and you're paying the promoted listing standard as well on that item. So yeah, you don't get any. There's no savings on that. Big J says, off just hit multiple times with hail. It came out of nowhere while I was loading groceries. Well, that's horrible. Here's Baskindoodle says, if, with big words, if eBay monitors geolocation and via that changes sales velocity, it won't be the app. It'll be a daemon running under iOS and Android OS background processes. But it is something tied into your device that is causing that. So I will try to turn off my location features next time. Susan says, actually made a sale on Bonanza. I think they do offsite. I think I've been blacklisted from Bonanza because, well, of course, I haven't checked my sales in a hot minute. So maybe I have one that's been sitting there waiting for me. But I haven't had a sale on that site since May. And I give them hardly any. No, I have no sales. Selling dashboard, there's nothing there. It is just dead. Uh-oh. Hold on. Uh-oh. Oh. I do have a sale. Uh-oh. Well, hell, when did this happen? It happened on 328. Oh, wow. Well, that is awesome. I have a sale. I have to check my PayPal account. And this was on the 28th. I need to get this out ASAP. So it was done over the weekend, right? Well, Friday. Awesome. Cool. We'll get that sold. Jeez. Thank you for bringing up Bonanza. He's got a $78 sale or an $80 sale. Very, very cool. I'm very, very happy for that. I am not shadow banned from them. And it looks like they wanted me to leave feedback. I'll mess with that later. Basketo says the background processes are there, hence your cha-ching without the app open, for example. Or yes. So it's running in the background. Running in the background. Tim Helcom says, hello all. Nice to see you, Tim. Thanks for being here. Let's see. We got Josh Galt with us. Thanks for being here, Josh. What's going on, buddy? We've got to get the Profit Playbook podcast recorded this week sometime. Jenna, my wife, she's out and about, says hello, my peeps. So she's having fun with the family. Susan Phelps says, I like Kevin's videos. Yeah, I realize he does what sold, but I like it because I might have something like it and know how much it's selling for or the things to look out for. But there's so many items that, you know, if he shares a shirt that he found, that he sold, it's going to be, chances are you're not going to find that same shirt out in the wild. It'll give you an idea of certain things and certain brands to look for. But for me, it's using your app, using the app to, while you're out and about, to see what sold, learning through that process, finding a process within that process of sourcing, and not relying on other people to really build up your knowledge. Basketo says, where are you at, Jenna? You get one of those free trips to the International Space Station? No, she's at this place called, I think it's Area 215. Maybe I'm off. It is off the strip, and they have some really cool things to do. And they have like a little golf area. They have this thing called like the Meow Market or something where it's just weird things that like blow your mind. It's kind of a cool, trippy place to go. They took the kids there. Devon, I'm scared to use stock photos because of Euros. Well, they changed the verbiage in their policy. It used to be that they didn't want you using stock photos at all. And then they changed it to where you cannot use stock photos on used items. So only, new and open box. But that doesn't give you permission to use them. You still have the brand owners that can come and say, hey, take it down. So fine, I took it down. And I won't be using stock photos for them. Also, do not use stock photos for Delta faucets. They do not like you using stock photos in their... And it's like, how the hell am I going to show them what your faucet looks like? I guess I just show the parts. Or stop buying them altogether. But I get them so cheap, like $5, I can get a $150 unit. I'll still try to make that work. Let's try to get through the sidebars, and we're making good progress here. Noodle says, meow, what moo talking about? One of my favorite phrases, mew must be bitten me. So, Area 15. Okay, I thought it was Area 215. Took the kids to Meow Wolf. Strange experience, but fun. So they have all these. It's a very, very popular place to go. One of the only places when you're coming to Vegas you can take the kids to do, but it's very expensive. It's like Jenna's like, yeah, it's $49 for me to go there and do this thing. You walk around and you check stuff out. Okay, I guess whatever. Devon says, John, you have the advantage not drinking. Yes, that's awesome. I mean, you have people that were literally betting blind. This happens every year. They bet. I don't care what I have in my cards. I bet $50. I bet $100. You got guys that are betting like $100 on a flip of a card amongst themselves. It's just really just ridiculous. You could really win a lot at those games. We're talking there's thousands of dollars on the table at any given time. These guys are just putting money out there. We have so much money on the table, we run out of chips. Let me put it that way. Well, I guess I could talk about it now. I guess I'll talk about it. We're at that show. I've pushed you guys long enough to talk about it, I guess. The trip was fun. The trip up there was uneventful, like I said. We get there we get in our cottage. It turns out that I have a cottage that is like literally 30 to 40 feet from the Colorado River. I mean, we have, it's like, think of a double wide trailer kind of situation with a patio. And that's what we had. Me and two other friends. I had the main bedroom. I have like a little jail cell. I was going to do a video showing the cottage itself. I just didn't have a chance to do that. And then you have like a little living room area with a small TV and stuff. It's kind of cool. Sliding glass door, and it goes out to the patio, and it's a large patio. You can literally put like 3 big poker tables out there. And I'm trying to bring this up so I can actually show you a little bit of. So weird. This is the cabin, or this is a cottage, is what they call it. I don't know what's happening. Just to give you an idea. Try to show you guys, but it's sort of like a double wide trailer kind of situation. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, here we go. I finally got it working. So I want to show you guys anyway what it kind of looks like, and I'll play the members only video for you to see. So here we go. This is the patio area that we ended up setting up tables on, and that's it, right? But you can see in that reflection how close to the Colorado River that we actually were, and that's my Telluride. But look at that, outstanding, right? So that's kind of what that was. And then this was the story. I think I told you the story about how these rocks over here, we saved a guy's life. I'm gonna have to put a video out for the members to see. I don't think I'm gonna put out for. We had somebody 4 years ago that drove their boat at full speed. They were drunk, and they went up these rocks. And we went around the side through these weeds and stuff to save his life. He was hanging out the side of the boat. He had a dog with him that was injured, and it was crazy. It was a really crazy thing, and I had it all on video. And I debated on putting it out, and I never did. So that was that. And so, yeah, if you remember, you can go in and check that out. We have it's like a 10-minute video. It talks about that particular one, and then I went in and made a secondary video. I kind of want to show this to you real quick as well, if I can, because I think it was really cool. We had the donkey, and I'm trying to show it to you, but it showed me the same damn video. Why? Hold on, bear with me a second. You guys are cool. You guys are hanging with me while I'm fighting through this thing, so bear with me. Here we go. Okay. Promise you it's worth it, otherwise I wouldn't bother showing it to you. So I did a video for that, and I think I put the donkey in here. Maybe I didn't. Oh yes, here it goes. And so we're at the poker game. And it's going to cut over to the donkey. We're sitting there playing cards, and it was at night. And look at this donkey. He's just chilling there, scratching his neck on the post. And we're literally just a couple feet away on the patio playing cards. And that was pretty cool. So I thought it would be worth sharing with you guys. And then, of course, this is the golf course that we're at. Beautiful place. Pretty cool as well. So essentially, and there's not a whole lot of reselling involved in that part of the discussion on this live, but it's a way that I get away from everything. I actually have a group that we really get together. It's like 100 people. So if you look here, and I'll go back to this here. We had a taco truck that came out to the cottage there, where we paid for everyone to eat. We had all the guys out there. We took a photo. It's the grip it and rip it golf thing, and this is about half the people. We do a little draft. We don't know half the people, but we actually get to meet people, and people of all different skill levels. So and that's the golf course, and how close it is to it's all buried in the mountains by the Colorado River, and there you go. That's the Colorado River right there. So I just saved you guys from having to go in and be a member. Now, if you still want to watch this, there's some discussions that I had. One about a guitar that I'm selling that Jenna got kind of ticked off at somebody for making bad offers on it while I was away and stuff. Bear says anyone could love me. P.S. I accept money orders too. Really, gold is at 3,100. Interesting. And did you guys hear that? And this is kind of off top. Well, on the topic of gold, but not reselling. That the government actually values gold officially at $40 or whatever it is, and if they actually value it closer to the $3,000, then it would push up the price of gold. I watched the video where they were talking about that. Todd says market patience is key. The new changes will pay big in the future. Yeah. Let's see. We got Desi Rebecca Flippin says tomorrow, April 1st, will be 2 years selling on eBay. Well, congratulations for that. And just know that
you can do it.
You can do it. You are showing that you can do it. Grumpy Retired Workaholic says, damn, sounds official. I don't know if it's official. Devon says, AI told me that eBay is not buying Etsy. Okay. But you never know. You Want You Need says, it was on desktop. If I left the listing to do the price research or save pictures when I came back into it, it would change a bunch of my descriptions, bold, all main templates, and description templates. So that's if you're running into that error, that glitch. I haven't seen that myself. Todd says, Mexico buyers are jumping over hoops to buy my Trump memorabilia. Baskin says, I get my underwear at Walmart. They keep it in plexiglass containers for me. Appreciate the fact they make me feel so important. We have a Walmart here, and I don't know if you guys have your Walmart like that, but we go and just buy general over-the-counter stuff, and they lock it up. So I'm over there trying to buy some eye drops, and I'm pushing the button, and nobody's coming. It took them like 10 minutes to come and open the damn thing so I can get out of there. Paul Rose is dipping out slightly early tonight, John. Clocks went forward here Sunday night, so it's midnight and need an early start. Good to have you back. Well, thank you for being here and being here as long as you can. Haven't seen any messages from Keith, so he probably went to sleep. And you know what? I don't blame you guys. I'm trying not to sleep late. I'm trying to go to bed by 10:30. It's something I just really feel like I need to do. Mike G says 9/1 through 9/25, $14,000 out of town. 9/26 through 10/1, $1,400. eBay definitely throttles my store. Yeah, I think so. I think it's a thing, guys. I don't think that I'm just making this stuff up. Baskin will say, yes, you charge the Roomba, set outside, and 10 minutes later, all cars up and down the street lay in pieces. You Want Your Needs is interesting. Really good to know about the shipping fees and taxes. Thanks for the insight. Makes perfect sense now. I now agree with the reasons. Well, yeah, eBay had to do that. There's always the few bad apples that will spoil it for the whole bunch. The problem with that is, it gives eBay sort of a license to justify, charging us for sales tax and all that stuff. And I see both sides of the argument. Me, as far as sales tax, I would just prefer not have to deal with the states. It's just one less thing that would take me away from my business. Paul Rose says, but in the UK, at least they cap what you can charge for shipping anyway, so they get it both ways. I really am going now. No April Fool. Night, everyone. Well, it's April Fool's for you, but thanks for being here. Pings with us says the sales tax charging was a result of South Dakota, maybe North Dakota versus Wayfair, went all the way to the Supreme Court and the state won. We have Chastity says, I just started with Etsy, but found out today that they automatically opt you into offsite ads. You have to turn it off. I got hit with almost $10 for 2 sales. They were good sales at least. Yeah. Maybe there's something to it, though. We tried to sell the badges or the patches, the military patches on Etsy, and really didn't make any headway. So I just never thought of it as being something that would work for us for the type of stuff that we're selling. Chastity says, no, Todd, well, it was probably buried in terms of services. I opted out today. At least I know before I open my second store. Yeah. Trying to catch up, but I think I'm making some headway here in getting to you guys. Read 500 says, can you please have clothing sellers comment on the new USPS packages? So you guys have any comments on that? Would be good to hear. Basket says, well, I must make like an Adam and Split. Looks like Basket Noodle's cat wants his dinner. Take care all. God bless. Well, God bless you too, sir. Chastity says, I had one sale a month on Bonanza this year until this month, unless one comes through tonight. I guess I'm back on Bonanza's good side. I need to start checking it again. Artkin says, eBay doesn't monitor geolocation. Think about all the mega stores and sellers. Do you really think they're tracking or caring about where the registered owner is? But maybe, just maybe, they have a different algorithm for the size of the store. Maybe. Again, it happens too often to us smaller sellers for it to be a coincidence. So I have never had the opportunity to run a large store. So maybe, just like for instance, large stores get access to a rep. We don't get access to a rep. eBay will contact you when they feel you are large enough. Also, did you know this? Large stores get access to lower final value fees. They get they get an agreed amount to lower their final value fees. How do I know this? Because well, it was brought to light by Daily Refinement a couple of years ago when he was hit up to have lower final value fees, and it's just the thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if you get to that level, you attain that level, you aren't treated the same way as the everyday seller. Heavy Chevy Guy says, the USPS claims video was very helpful. I was able to make a service claim for some parts that got lost on the way to Puerto Rico. There you go. If you guys haven't checked out the video, it's a video I did, I believe, last week, talking about how to go about making a USPS claim for a lost item, not damaged, because it's just damaged item is a little bit more difficult. Read 500. The new soft priority mailers are more papery, not flexible, and I don't like them. So I haven't messed with priority in a long time. I've been really utilizing Ground Advantage. Now I wonder what's going to happen with USPS and what's going to happen with Ground Advantage, because it's not, I mean, it's a really great value, and I really hope it doesn't go away. It's really made it work for a lot of the larger items that we're selling. Let's see. Ping G says, are you referring to something not the flat rate priority envelope? I stopped using them when Ground Advantage came along. Devon says that I should post probably the videos that I showed you. I don't know if I should, because are you talking about post the accident video? I might do that for members only, because I think the guy survived, which is a good thing. I think they gave him a DUI, which is a good thing, because he could have really hurt somebody badly. Thankfully, I hate to say that, hopefully he learned his lesson, but let's just hope that's the case. Reef the Sea Forever says, wow. Big Dre, I made a Depop sale. Must have happened because I was deleting listings that sold on other platforms. So I might list some shirts with Depop Fold to see if it boosts sales. I didn't list all last year. I don't know anything about Depop. I have enough clothes just to put on eBay and not to have to worry about anything else. You Need says, what an awesome vacation spot. I really want to move to America. Yeah, it is really cool. If you have Sea-Doos, if you like to fish, you can do all that stuff within easy walking distance. Now it's a resort. My buddy, two of my friends have timeshares there, so they either you can get a trailer or you can get a cottage, and they book these all in advance, so we have enough space for all these people. You says, the poker donkey jokes must have been hilarious when they showed up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. Yep. And what was funny is it started hee-hawing. Like, I'm not going to do it, but it was just crazy, like announcing his presence as he's walking up. It was pretty funny. Let's see. Hit the like, waiting for my sale. LOL. It'll happen. Give it up to 24 hours, though. We promise it within 24 hours. Jovia says, that fella driving the boat was on the rocks in more than one way. Yes. And it was crazy that night. Real Timeless Vintage says 2 packages goes out today, 1 to Spain and 1 Poland. Perfect. There you go. Keep making those sales. Love to hear it. See. Keith, oh, there he is. If John would stop skipping chat, he would see my messages. LOL. I'm sorry. You know, a lot of times I have to skip because I'm trying to get it within a certain time frame. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. And it's something I was kind of going to do anyway. I mean, I'm being very cautious not to skip over comments from people who just popped in. But if it's a message to someone else, I'm going to keep skipping, if that makes sense. Because it's usually gets me confused and the audience confused. Almost there, though. Big J says, I use my own packages for shirts that I buy in bulk from Amazon because sometimes I will ship with FedEx to avoid late shipments. Yeah, we use poly mailers for that. We buy our poly mailers from Gyropack. You can use the link down below. I believe you get, I think it's 14% off your first purchase using the code if you've never bought there before. Mike G says, you can only report what your store does. My numbers don't lie. As I showed mine, my store indeed suffers. Yes, I mean, look, if you've gone on vacation and you've never experienced that, maybe it has something to do with my handling time. Maybe if I set my handling time like Brett. So a couple years ago, I went for Christmas break, set my handling time to 5 days, then decrease it 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. Why did I do that? Not this time, because I didn't have somebody at home handling the business. Maybe next time I do it that way. Or I'll try different things like turn off geolocation and that kind of thing and see if that has a difference. I am also convinced through many examples that I've laid out that bigger stores, larger anchor stores are always going to be treated differently with less restrictions than smaller sellers. So, you know, the idea that someone that happens to be the owner of a larger big store on eBay, one of the mega stores, they're probably never going to be affected by the same things that you and I are. That's just the way I see it. Richard says, I had to increase my promotion to 9% to increase sales. 3% wasn't working at all. And you got to find that number. You got to, you know, if you're hanging out at 2 to 3%, that's where a lot of people reluctantly are hanging out. And you're never going to know unless you try. So if you then say, okay, I'm going to give 2 weeks. I'm going to bump my numbers by, you know, double, or maybe I'm going to triple. So instead of 3, it's going to be 9%, and see if that works. And if that works, see what happens when you bring it down to 6%. How far does it drop off? So you're constantly tinkering until you find the right number. But draw a line. I would personally say, don't fall for what eBay is trying to make you feel. Here they're trying to bring feelings into your business that you should be promoting by them suggesting you promote at 15-20%. Don't go nuts with it. eBay is trying to get you to spend more money to them to make sales. And your goal is to find a number that gets you good sales and you're not giving up all your profits. You Want You Need says, thanks for making the day brighter and better, John. Hope you have a great night. Well, hope you have a great night too. And Jenna says, time to go to dinner, honey. Yes. We need to do that. Reef the Sea Forever. Don't forget your quarterly eBay coupon. Do it today for first quarter. Do it tomorrow for second quarter, guys. And I think, and Jenna wants to go to Letitia's, and that's, I've got to go and, you guys know about the chairman story where I went to go get my card, and I'll close with this. You guys probably have, but I'll tell it again. About 2 months ago, I went to go get was at the casino, and they give you like $5 free play. You got to put your card in the machine, and you get your $5 free play. But I didn't have my damn card, so you go and show your ID, and they'll give you a free your replacement card. No problem. They verify who I am. They put my card through the machine to verify that I am who I am, and it kicks me out a new card. Well, this time they gave me a purple card that says chairman on it. And I went to see if I had a $5 credit. I had $162 in credit. And yeah, we played it. And ever since then, I've been like, they offered me free parking. They were giving me all kinds of stuff. And I'm the chairman. So that was kind of my self-proclaimed nickname for myself. Mike G says, eBay asked me, are you solo or have employees? Trust me, that is indeed important to them. Yes, I believe so. Mike S says, your geolocation theory is laughable, but you're doing something that is causing a drop in impressions. you're scheduling new listings, you need to be manually launching, or eBay sees less activity. Everything that I talk about when it comes to the algorithm is in theory. And just like your suggestion, it is in theory. You have no more knowledge of the algorithm than I do. So you can make up your mind what you think is reasonable, and I'm going to make up my mind what's reasonable based on what happens to me. And I will not report things that people will bring stuff to me sometimes and say, hey, this is happening to me. This must be happening. And I can't replicate that. I'm not going to report it to you guys usually. Unless there's like a glitch, or if there's a glitch happening, I'll report it to you. But if there's something real happening, like to your sales patterns, if it isn't happening to me, I'm not going to be able to report it to you. I'm just not going to do it because I don't have firsthand knowledge. But if I have firsthand knowledge and things happen that are too much of a coincidence to continue to happen, then in my mind, it's a thing. And you don't have to agree. That's the great thing about this channel. We put out ideas, and it's not to persuade the way you think or how you feel about your business. It's just to hopefully, make you think. Maybe make you think that, okay, this could be happening, or maybe it's laughable. But nonetheless, I do it with the best of intentions, not to screw anyone up, but just to put it out there for conversation. Ping says, enjoy the rest of the week and have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, says Keith. Barbara Guven says, where is the coupon at for eBay? Let's see if I can get you that real fast, because I hate for you guys not to utilize your coupon. Bear with me a second. It is in your seller hub. I don't know if I can get there or not. Here it is. It is your seller hub. So if you go to your seller hub, of course, eBay's taking its sweet time for me today. I don't know why. It's literally, I don't know if you guys are having this problem, but I click on it and it does absolutely nothing. It's been happening all day. So if you go to your seller hub, and I believe it is here. No, subscriptions. I believe it is. And then, no, it's not there. Where is it, guys? I'm trying to find it for you, because I don't. Discounts manager, managed store. Is it this one? It's one of these. No, that ain't it. I don't have an answer for you. Someone has it. And how do I find it? I just keep clicking on these stupid links until I find it. I thought I had it. I thought I would recognize where I click. So it's within here. One of these you have to click. And marketing, then discounts. Okay, so they say marketing, then discounts. I don't see marketing here. So maybe it's up here. Let's see, marketing, discounts. Okay, there you go. Marketing, then discounts. I've never clicked on that through that, but I don't have one left. So maybe it's not showing it to me. Discounts, no. Under seller summary. Yes, summary. It's probably not there for me because I've already used it. So try one of those. And tomorrow, hopefully, mine will be there, but it's not showing me that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Barbara. Wasn't able to help you there. Barris is watching and packing since morning now, 9 a.m. Awesome. Time for me to get to eBay work. Go out thrifting in the morning time. List in the evening. Y'all have a good rest of the night, says Derek. So it's somewhere under subscriber discount. It's there. Marketing/subscriber discounts. Okay, hold on. See if I could do it so I can show you guys through your help. There it is. Marketing. So Seller Hub, marketing, and then subscriber discounts right there. Click on that and boom. So you get your discount there. So that's the end of the show. Jenna wants to go to dinner, so she wins. And you guys, I want you to have an excellent rest of your day. Hope to see you guys in the next one. I'll try to get some content out this week. And whether you think about it or not, whether you agree with it or not, I'm a firm believer that eBay does geolocate the smaller sellers, not the larger sellers. They have a different set of rules than we do. And if you do take off for a long enough period of time, and maybe it's directed at your handling time, or maybe it's not, who knows? There might be a lot of things. We can only just try to figure it out. But that is yet another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day, and we will talk to you here very soon. Take care.
Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain, what can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll! Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your style. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on